Hey Sagittarius, thank you so much for taking the time out of your day today to spend it with me for your tarot reading. My name is Katie. It's a pleasure to meet you. Today we will be doing a general reading for the last week of February for all Sagittarius. And what I mean by this is that there will be things in this reading which you will connect with, and there will be things in which you might not feel an extreme connection to, or maybe not immediately. And I plan on doing readings once a month in the beginning of the month. I'm just doing it for the end of this February because this is when I started filming. If you're interested in getting to know more about me and to get a more personalized reading, all of my readings you can schedule with me online at my website at www.blissfully.com. I also will be eventually putting up on there some of my handcrafted jewelry and essential oils that I make. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and get started. I've been shuffling the deck here just for you. And I'm going to go ahead and lay it out in a spread here, and then what I'll do is I always post pictures of the spread so that if you would like to, you can follow along with me on the reading so that you can see the cards the way that I'm seeing them. So if you want, feel free to pause the video and then click on the link below for my Instagram to get to the picture, and then come back. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and lay out the cards. And I like to lay them down face down first so that I can get through each card one by one and get a good general understanding on what's going on in each different aspect of your life, and then connect them together as I go. I feel like it's not as overwhelming for me that way. Okay. All right. So your U card, the card that you've been working on, not that you've been working on, the card that is most related to your personality right now is the Seven of Cups. And this is showing a picture of a man who has been working on wine that he has been cultivating for some time now. You can see that he's got barrels in the background. And this is showing to me that you've been working on a passion job of yours for some time, or you've been working passionately and diligently at a hobby, a job, whatever it is that makes you feel fulfilled in life. So that's really great. But what's crossing you is the King of Winter, and what he usually represents is mental sternness, strictness, tradition, hardworking, and not necessarily easy to change. You might be experiencing a little bit of change in your life right now, or this could actually be a person affecting you like this. Someone potentially bringing down the passion that you put into your work, and how it is providing you with the finances that you need to live. And it could also be in the crossing position, maybe because while this is a passion of yours, it might not potentially be bringing in the amount of money that you would like for it to be bringing in. And in your as above card, which is, I typically call it like your ego card also, as the King of Autumn. And this card is kind of like, not necessarily the polar opposite, but very different, of course, from the King of Winter, and I'll hold them both up for you to be able to see. So the King of Autumn, Autumn also relates to the Pentacles, which are material wealth, career, that kind of thing. He is very comfortable with his situation financially and his home that he's created for himself. that seems to be on the forefront of your mind. Maybe it's something that you're working towards. Maybe it is something that you have already created for yourself, and this person is trying to challenge that. Or that's something that you're striving towards, but you're feeling challenged by things like tradition or maybe a mental fear that's holding you back from being able to reach that state. And probably what has affected this is in the past or in your subconscious, or maybe it's just a fear of yours, is the fear that you've cultivated and put all of this time and energy into this passion of yours, this passion career, for it to all come crumbling down, for someone to affect it, for some unforeseeable force to destroy everything that you've worked towards, basically. I'm not necessarily getting that it's actually happened. It just sounds like something that you're worried about. So in your recent past was actually, I think, the beginning of this endeavor, this career. It's brand new for you, is what I'm getting. And with it came, at first, a lot of diligence and hard working in order to get up to the point that you've been at now, which relates back to this fear of losing, everything that you've built up for. And if you continue on this path, what's going to happen is you're going to notice that you'll struggle to share your wealth with others. This is the Four of Autumn, and you can see that it's a man that's built up a foundation for himself, and he's more than, well fed for. He's provided more than enough for himself, but there's still a fear of someone or something affecting his wealth. And I'm not really getting a clear picture of what it could be. Well, it might actually be your family, because in your family and friends section, you've got the Herald of Winter. And these are, and this card typically represents someone or something that isn't necessarily sure of what they're doing. Maybe they're a bit immature or naive. And what they're bringing with them is a ton of mental instability, a ton of worry, a ton of anxiety. Maybe your family is pressuring you to do something that seems much more practical in order to bring in more money, or be providing for the family more in some way, and you disagree. You feel that the work that you are doing is providing more than enough for what your family needs. And that might be where the struggle is. Your hopes card is the Ace of Spring, and the spring is much like I always confuse it if it's cups or wands. I think it's wands. But it doesn't really matter. Ace of Spring represents a new journey, and it's in your hope section. And so for me, what this is telling me is this might put you into a new path or a new chapter in your life, being challenged to provide for your family in such a way that might seem practical to them or is in line with society's view. But isn't necessarily providing for you the passion and the drive that you need in order to feel successful in your career. I think this is going to push you into a new chapter in your life and really exploring that, and exploring what specifically about your career is important to you, and how practicing that is going to affect you in the long run, and putting you on this new journey of comfort via self-happiness, if that makes any sense. Your fears card is pretty much what other people will say about you. You're worried about the drama that could potentially ensue from you disagreeing with what your family wants and your friends want you to do. And, and even the family and friends card can even sometimes mean society. So it could be that your passion is something that you think society looks down on, or it might not necessarily be something that is regularly accepted where you are, or where you live and what your culture is. But I would encourage you to challenge that, because by pursuing what makes you the happiest, you could potentially light a spark in other people and encourage them to also pursue their happiness as well, and therefore creating this ripple effect that will be very beneficial to everybody involved. And to me, that's reassured by this card, which is your final outcome card, the Herald of Summer. And by pursuing this new chapter in your life, you're going to bring about a new feeling of passion, a new feeling of success via your passions and self-awareness and happiness and joy. And so the main theme here is to follow your passions, no matter what anybody says, and to not let what they say make you stray away from what you think is right for you to do. So that's a really good message for you on this last week. Thank you so much for taking the time today to spend it with me for your reading. I am really grateful that you chose me for this reading, and I hope that some of it has made sense to you. If you have any other suggestions, comments, or questions about the reading further, please let me know in the comments or shoot me an email. I'd be happy to answer your questions. And then also, if you're interested in a personal reading or want to get to know more specifically about your cards, I have all of the information below in the description box. Check out my website, all that kind of good stuff. Okay, so with that said, I think everything looks good. I wish you a wonderful week, and I'll see you again at the beginning of March. Bye, everybody.